Hello, good day. This is Teacher Dan, your presenter, and welcome to today's lesson. We are going to continue the methods of data presentation. Since we're done with the first four methods in data presentation, today we are going to get to know another four techniques in presenting data that you can use in your discussion chapter in your thesis writing. To have a recap, last Thursday, we discussed the three types of presenting data, which is the textual or narrative form, in which the caselet method falls under. We also have the tabular form, which uses columns and rows to organize data. And lastly, we have diagrams and graphs, which we have bar graphs and line graph. Today, the methods to be discussed will fall under the diagram or graph category. But before we begin, let's read first our learning objectives. So first, we have determine the different types of graphs or diagrams under uses. Second, examine an information and graph or chart it by choosing the appropriate way or technique in presenting data. And compare and contrast the different ways of presenting data. So let's have the first one. First, we have radar or web chart. Radar or web chart can also be called in so many names. We have star chart, star plot, cobweb, and this can also be called an irregular polygon. So here, the data given is about a central point. Two sets of data are given for comparison. Two sets of data or more are given for comparison. So let's see an example. In here, we can see that there are 5 persons being compared with each other. We have Antonio, Brooklyn, Francis, Snyder, and we also have Whiteside. Now, radar chart is represented by sequence of equiangular spokes called radii, and a radii represents a variable. So here, this is the radar here, the points. Now, this is commonly used in athletes' performance. As you can see here, if you can observe, these 5 persons here are all basketball players. A radar or web chart can answer the following question. Which observation or variable is most similar? Radar charts also locate similar and dissimilar points. Now, one advantage of this method is it can compare multiple persons or performances at the same time. Like for example, here. However, one disadvantage of this method is it is hard to visualize directly. This method needs careful analysis to obtain an accurate information. Now for the second one, we have the pie chart. This diagram looks like a pie, and its components resemble various slices cut from the pie. It is used to break up one continuous variable into component parts. Now, pie chart is very common, and it is used mostly in division or formal representation of dividing section. Let's see an example. Each section has a corresponding value or variable that contributes to the whole part. So as you can see here, an example, say the purple one. So it represents 30.3% of the section. So this is an example of a pie chart, and we also see this in fraction problems. Now let's have the third one, scatter plot. This is used in showing the relationship between two data series and determining their correlation. This shows a distribution of data points. A scatter plot is often used to provide researchers the graphic view of what tends to happen to one score when another score increases or decreases. So let's see an example. Scatter plot is used commonly in correlation or association of data. It is also used when researcher has to bivariate or two datas being correlated to each other. Like other data charts or methods, scatter plot is represented by an x and y axis. So this is the y-axis, and this is the x-axis. Now, like other data charts or methods, we have also, for scatter plot, we have three features to look at, which is first the slope. That determines the positivity and negativity of the data. Second one is linearity, which represents the line of the data if it's increasing or decreasing. And we also have strength. This describes the weakness and strength of the two datas being associated. Each point in the scatter plot represents a value, just like in the radar or web chart. Each dot represents a value, same with scatter plot. Now, for the fourth one, we have histogram. This also shows the distribution of the dataset. It graphs the percentage of the number of instances of different categories. A histogram is used to summarize discrete or continuous data. Let's see an example. So here, histogram is a bar chart also. This is used in frequency distribution. When we say frequency distribution, it is an overview of all the distinct values in some variable and the number of times they occur. Histogram is helpful in research that involves statistics and probability. So, just like what I've mentioned, histogram is also a form of bar chart. However, there is a big difference. When we say histogram, it is used for frequency distribution. But when we say bar graph or bar chart, it is used to compare two sets of data. Now, that's it for our methods of data presentation. There, we have now completed the 8 methods. So I think that's it for today. Have a good day. Bye.